That's all right, don't worry. No, that's good. I used to get photos.
Cool. We're here to support Operation Banner Veterans for Justice. For Northern Ireland veterans, we just want enough is enough. We want a level playing field. When you give the IRA letters of convenience, why did you not give them to the troops? Tony Blair sold us out.
Oh my God, that is
Hello, my name's Oliver Jones, this is Zach Williams, and we've travelled all the way from Wales to come to London.
And we're here to support the Northern Ireland Vengeance.
Stop the witch hunt of Northern Ireland veterans! Down Starmer! Down Blair! Justice for Northern Ireland veterans! Enough is enough!
Keep cheering, guys.
Tony Blair! You sold us Northern Ireland veterans! Day of veterans! On you! Prosecutions! Leave the Legacy Act alone!
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it?
No!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
No! Enough is enough!
It was Tony Blair who signed the Good Friday Agreement giving immunity to terrorists and allowing veterans to be prosecuted. Last year we had the Legacy Act passed by Parliament which received royal assent on the 18th of September. It was the first opportunity of closure for the people of Northern Ireland and protect our veterans. Keir Starmer has repealed the Legacy Act and prosecuting innocent veterans who have already been cleared of any crimes. The Boston College Project has been collecting information from IRA terrorists to preserve the real history of the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Those files stay sealed until they die. Several have been released. They have named Jerry Adams. They've admitted to the most horrific crimes and atrocities, and they still remain protected under the law passed by Tony Blair and now because of Keir Starmer. Elderly veterans have been taken to court on no new evidence, inadmissible comments that do not stand in a court of law. This is a witch hunt against the people who protect us. So what do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
We'll remember Dennis Hutchins. Who will remember?
Dennis Hutchins and Ken Waddington, who also passed away while awaiting trial. He was an innocent veteran who protected our freedom. He had been cleared in the past. He was awaiting trial and he passed away.
4 times Dennis Hutchins was found not guilty, and they still took him to court, to a diplock court. Diplock courts were only intended for terrorists. So that's clearly what they think of veterans. They consider veterans terrorists that served the Crown that served the people and kept us safe.
I grew up in Angel Islington. I remember the days my parents called us back in because London had been bombed. That's bombings on the mainland, let alone what was going on out in Northern Ireland. It was Labour that sent them. The government sent them there to do a job. And the government consistently protect the terrorists under the Good Friday Agreement and now repealing the Legacy Act, which was the first thing that gave anybody the opportunity of closure in Northern Ireland. The veterans that have been taken to court, they've all been cleared of any wrongdoing in the past. These cases have gone ahead on inadmissible comments, no new evidence. It's a mess.
It is a mess. The Catholics were getting a bad end off of the actual Protestants. It's not the way that you're being told in the press. And they were there, left there, and a very nasty sandwich between both sides. If you went and did your job today, you would expect to be protected by your employer, not at some point later on in time to be prosecuted, to go to prison, and to possibly even die whilst you're actually awaiting prosecution.
Of course, this all goes back to the 1998 Good Friday Agreement, but then those very secretive talks and agreements between Tony Blair and Gerry Adams in 2006 really sparked this off, because these veterans served in Northern Ireland to protect the community and are now finding themselves in court. If we could just go along here, we'll talk to somebody.
I didn't actually serve in Northern Ireland. I've actually got Irish family and Welsh family, so I can understand. I understand probably a little bit more about the history than a lot of people, if that makes sense. But a lot of the lads I did serve with all served in Northern Ireland. So all the stories I got told, stuff about how the trouble started, how they in like 69, 68, 69 when the British Armed Forces originally went into Northern Ireland, there was no barracks, there was nothing, there was no infrastructure and any of the British Armed Forces to be there. And they went there to actually protect the Catholics from the Protestants who were actually being attacked. And after Bloody Sunday, it was all twisted and manipulated into another story, and now Sinn Féin and the IRA in its various different formats, NLA and all the other different, they are now trying to make a completely different story of it to fit their narrative of today.
Well, it was a Labour government that first
exactly.
Yeah. And you feel that this Labour government has very much committed?
This Labour government now wants to side with terrorists. That's all I can say. They want to side with terrorists. They don't want the narrative of the truth of the Crown employees, i.e. the British Armed Forces that went out there in the first place. They don't want to protect them either.
Well, you can hear the frustration in that man's voice.
They're coming out trouble, so that's why they're putting in and out.
You're not putting any effort. Labour MP! There's a Labour MP, David. You can get round the sideway. We're letting people on the back. We're letting people on the back. Traitor! Quite simple. How easy was that? Justice! How easy was that?
What do we want?
Justice! Justice! Where do we want it? Now! Well done, lads. Well done. Well done, Rob. Well done, mate.